Also, out of the trustees meeting, a vote for big changes are on the way to Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center. If state legislators approve the new budget, the university is asking the Tennessee State School Board Authority for $76.5 million. This would go toward an $85 million arena renovation project that we're told would make improvements to the building exterior, interior areas, and amenities, along with building system upgrades. Now, the renovation project was hinted at when Food City put its name on the arena last fall. At the time, we were told the project would include new club amenities, updates to the Ray Mears room, a state-of-the-art center-hung video board, and modernization for the exterior facade of the facility. Once lawmakers approve the move, the design process will begin. And in that same area, the city of Knoxville just submitted a new application in the hopes of getting funding for the proposed pedestrian and bicycle bridge over the Tennessee River. And in that new proposal, the city has all new renderings of the pedestrian bridge. The plan right now is for the bridge to be UT orange and white, fitting, of course, since the bridge would actually connect UT's campus to the South Knoxville waterfront area. The city is asking for $25 million for the project that we're told would span from Clancy Avenue on the south side to the pedestrian concourse on the north, located between the Food City Center and Pratt Pavilion. Next on our list, another threat against another East Tennessee school and another teen facing some big trouble. The latest focused on Farget High. Investigators saying the teen arrested threatened to, quote, shoot up the school. 18-year-old Amina Albaraki is accused of sending a threatening Snapchat just after 7 a.m. yesterday. The post was apparently a picture of herself with a gun with the words, quote, I'm going to shoot up Farget High School. A student shared that picture with officers who were told showed up to campus at 9 a.m. yesterday to investigate. Court documents say 2 other students spoke to officers at the school, accusing Albaraki of also threatening to beat them up. Albaraki was arrested on a charge of making threats of mass violence. A big change in the post-pandemic world. No more 5-day isolation for COVID-19. The Centers for Disease Control updating its recommendations, putting them in line now with guidance for the flu and RSV. The isolation period now 24 hours. According to the CDC, that's based on progress in our tools for fighting severe COVID-19, and with the U.S. seeing fewer cases, bad enough to send someone to the hospital or claim lives. The guidance now goes something like this. If you have fever, or if you have, fever and respiratory symptoms, stay home and away from others, however long that might be. Once your symptoms start getting better and your fever ends without needing medicine to keep the fever down, then wait another 24 hours before going back to normal activities. And for the next 5 days, the CDC says you should take extra precautions like wearing a mask or physical distancing. Also, keep in mind, this is now the guidance for COVID, RSV, and the flu. Knoxville firefighters finding big flames this afternoon. KFD sharing some of these pictures on Facebook. This is around 1 o'clock today. First responders received a call really about 12:45 about smoke coming from a house. Now, as crews arrived, they discovered heavy smoke and flames coming from the back. Now, we've learned no one lives in the house and there are no reports of injuries to any firefighters on scene. Here's the scene as our crew found it while crews were still monitoring for some hot spots through the afternoon. The cause of that fire, by the way, is still under investigation. Next on our list, efforts to protect in vitro fertilization cropping up now around the country. It's a response to a state Supreme Court ruling across the state line in Alabama, declaring frozen embryos children, prompting IVF clinics to put procedures on hold. Well, back here in Tennessee, lawmakers are working on a bill aiming to clarify that abortion regulations do not apply to embryos in our state. The bill, which protects the use of contraceptives and other pregnancy prevention products and procedures, also states the disposal of embryos resulting from fertility treatments, including health care services in relation to them, would not be considered a criminal abortion if passed. This bill would protect those who choose to dispose of their embryos during IVF. Now, we spoke today with a woman who went through IVF and ultimately ended up having her child through embryo adoption. She's glad to see a conversation now start around protecting embryos.
I'm excited that they're valuing embryos. I don't want people to feel, I mean, uncertain by misinformation that like, oh, now I can't have a family or now I can't practice IVF. I do think if it is something you're going to do, you are creating life, and that is something that needs to be done with the utmost care.
You know, she went on to argue that embryos should be considered children, but also wants to ensure that families can have options, such as IVF, available to them, and that it is important to protect. An update tonight on a big story out of Cott County. You may remember a body was found there, and investigators told us they might have an idea of the woman's name. But tonight, Cott County detectives still trying to make contact with the woman's family. The discovery happening on Plunkton Road in Cott County. Sheriff C.J. Ball says the body was found Friday about 15 feet down a hillside. Sheriff Ball says the autopsy does not show any obvious signs of trauma. The sheriff's office is waiting, though, on the toxicology report. Once the report from the autopsy is complete, we can expect another update. And wrapping up our Big 7 at 7 on the first Friday with praise for Knoxville's Arts District. That's coming from the USA Today 10 Best Readers' Choice poll, ranking the Arts District here number 2 in the nation. USA Today specifically mentioned First Friday at Knoxville's open-air art markets. Plus, you've got the performing arts with the Knoxville Symphony Orchestra, the Knoxville Opera, and our own official poet laureate announced each year. And we spoke to the Arts and Cultural Alliance about what sets Knoxville apart from some of the bigger cities we beat out. And they tell us that Knoxville has a lot easier access to the arts, and it's often a free experience, like the Emporium downtown or the Knoxville Museum of Art.
2,500 artists show in the galleries and in the places downtown every year. We have 650 that show just in the Emporium Center every year. So it's a wonderful place to go. It's free, it's fun, and you know, there's a sense of just enjoying life and relaxing and being who you are and enjoying your own downtown.
Here's a look, by the way, at the top 5 arts districts according to voters. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Cleveland, Ohio, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Knoxville is second as we go down the list. And you see we were right behind Dallas, Texas, which is ranked number 1.